All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. So first, we look at the Nasdaq. You can see our support was down here around 18,000 flat on NQ. As we zoom in, you get a better look of what's actually happening in here as well. So we bounce back off that here on Thursday and Friday, move back up here. Now, the key levels you've been talking about around 1837, 1827 locally. And you can see here, you go to something like the 1 hour and you really get a better look. And you are just consolidating back and forth, pinballing. No real movement is actually taking place here. And that's the very important part to understand where we're at. Now we go into ES, the S&P 500. Very similar action, nothing really happening, but you're at a more key level there. So quickly going to the daily. The level you're looking at here on ES is your previous all-time high they had back in early March before you broke out and made a new all-time high. And that's the level basically 52.57, 52.58, and you're trying to mount back above that level. Now, that's where we're at as we speak. You're just sitting there. And now you go to NQ, you're a little bit below that level. Nothing too great, not the most fantastic thing, but you still look good. Again, you want to get back above the 18.377, which was, again, that, early February and then early March level as well that you started to break back above. So that's where we're at right now, and that's kind of where you're playing. So you go to something like volume and you look here. Again, your volume on the day is 44 million. That's terrible on the S&P 500. I go over to Edgepool and I look, and you can see that Mondays typically are our lowest volume days here, but it's worth mentioning that it's an average over the past year of around 65, 64 million, right? And you're still 20 million under that, basically 30% lower than expected. So volume has been stagnant. It has been low. Those are things that we need to understand. So day trading in this environment is brutal. It's tough because you have to understand, you need volume, you need volatility to get those overall moves in the market. That's what you have to be looking for. And if you want to check out Edgepool, the link is down below, so make sure you check those guys out. So that's what we're looking at there. Now we come up really quick and we bring up our Lux algo indicator here as well, and we can see again there's not too much support being established here via Lux. That's also concerning. Okay, you can see we have a little bit of a level down here near 18.1, 18.50, but if that level gets lost, you're pretty illiquid back down to 17.7. So again, that's also something to keep in the back of your mind. If you start to get that breakout to the downside, I anticipate some volatile movement to the downside. Now I'm not going short up here. I would only go short if we start to lose those key supports and levels. Okay, got to keep that very, very understood. Now again, going back to the 2 hour, looking back, I still like the upside if we can break back above 18.377 and push back up. Same thing on ES with the S&P 500, SPY, etc. is if we hold back above 52.58, I think you look good into 5,300. Now, for all you guys that don't love futures, you like the SPY, again, keep things really simple here. You are mounted above your level still on SPY 518.2. You are clearly holding that, trying to break back over 520.6 roughly. Over that level, you're illiquid back into 523, 524. So, those signs are all still there. Again, for SPY to get concerning, to make a lower low, is you have to break below 508 to really get bearish. So there's still a lot of signs across the board that all else hasn't failed and you still look fine. So our Lux algo levels and our indicators, if you're interested, the link is down below as well. Use code OD40 for 40% off of your first transaction, just to let you know. That won't last forever, just to give you a heads up. But you also get our day trading indicator here for buying versus selling volume, my favorite indicator that there is. So anyways, take advantage while you can. Any new scripts we develop, you will also get access to them as long as you are a premium member of Lux algo. Now, going a little bit further, DXY, what's happening here? Okay, risk on versus risk off. The DXY gives us a good little metric. It's probably one of the only metrics we can really look at with yields as well. DXY continues to get rejected at our highs of around 104.9, projecting back down. You're getting back in below our key level, 104.2, breaking back down. That's a risk on indicator if we look at that, right? When the dollar tends to drop, we get some love in the market. Looking at yields, kind of topped off a little bit here, but the question is do sellers step back in with yields, even though what's happening with Fed Powell and the overall viewpoints of cuts not coming as soon as we may have thought? Right? That's the worrisome part right now. And I also just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video and the sponsor of the channel. I use their platform right now. As you can see, I've developed my account. I'll be doing more content with them as we develop a better relationship. But you can check out their options platform and everything regarding what I'm looking at with stocks and news updates and things like that. The link is down below. Do your own research, guys, but it will help you, in my opinion. It has all these tools, as you can see. It's all right there for you. The link is down below. If you want to support the channel, check them out. Free of charge, right? So that's what we're looking at right there. That is Moo. Appreciate you guys so much. So next metric here, before we go into stocks we like, Bitcoin. You're making a nice pin in here. You're trying to break out. Another metric of risk on, risk off. When Bitcoin's had some, it's helped us a little bit over the past too to see, are we breaking out? And Bitcoin looks good once again. Halving is coming up in the next 2 weeks, but again, Bitcoin looks strong. Next up, IWM, decent day, holding back above our level 205.5. Again, a decent, a strong, a good hold. You can't complain here. You have to be happy with how we're moving and what's happening here. So again, I look across the board and I can't get bearish yet. Just like I told you guys when you came down to support down here, I can't get bearish until you lose your support and retest it. And you're just not yet. Sellers haven't showed up. And it's worth mentioning, when sellers do show up, they come back the next day with worse volume than ever, right? That's what's been happening. A good example is you found lows last week on Wednesday. But guess what, what really happens? You see some sellers step in on Friday or Thursday, and then buyers step right back in. So I'm just like, what's happening? There's no real follow through in either direction, even when there is quote unquote bad news. Worth mentioning, worth checking out. Now, going into stocks that we're liking, stocks that we're looking to trade, stocks that we're looking at some upside potential. Now, I'm going to go with some viewpoints on it, okay? NVIDIA. I'm going to tell you right now, everyone keeps asking, Tyler, what about NVIDIA? For me, I'm not going long in NVIDIA until you break back above 924. Going to keep it really simple. That's my level. 924, the end. Above 924, I like it. On the downside, you are below 876. I can see it's pushing back into 862. Under 862, I'm looking for around 850, then 841. But again, I have to wait till we mount back above 924 to get bullish, at least right now. AMD. You're below all your key levels here as well. You got back below 174.7. You went right down to your next target around 165, 164. To get bullish on AMD, you got to get back above 185. Above 185, you're a bull in my opinion. Bare minimum, get above 174.7. Can't do nothing until you get above those levels. I don't just YOLO into these guys. I don't just see a dip and just buy, especially if I'm trying to day trade. I have to have a setup and I have to have a plan established with that trade based on key levels, based on supply and demand. So again, understand that. Meta, probably one of the stronger names out there in the market right now. Gonna highlight right now. So your previous high is right here on 523.8, 523.5. Now, if I go to something like the 2 hour, you get a better viewpoint here as well. So I like Meta to the upside, but you have to hold above 523.5. Above that level, you're looking for an upside breakout. Easy as that. Now, below that level, you're looking for a retest into 515. So as long as you're below 523, I'd be looking for a retest into 515 for support. Under that, then 509, 510. Keep it simple, no reason to overcomplicate it. Amazon, a lot of you guys like Amazon. I've been a big fan of Amazon. I told you guys about the ascending triangle. Nice breakout so far. Break, retest, continuation into 187. Picture perfect right into our level. Nothing really to cover there. I'm not looking to trade it anymore at that point, but congrats if you caught it. Google has been one of the stronger names as well, looking to break out once again, even though today's market really didn't do much, right? You got back above previous all-time high around 153.8. You're mounting back above that level. That looks good. You're above 151.5. You bounce off that level as well. Google is in price discovery. Looks good. I can see this thing running into the 160 range, maybe even higher. Keep it on your chart. Apple. I think Apple, when I look at Apple, I always look at it for a long-term buying opportunity. But, you're losing your level down here at 168.5. This is a red flag if I've ever seen one. So, again, key levels you're watching. Number one, you're looking into around 167.5. And then your next level will be around 165.6. I think you have to anticipate, if sellers continue to step into the market, that Apple has more downside. So I'd be looking for that under 168.5. Above 168.5, I have to assume it's a buy. Just going to keep it really simple there. Robinhood, just moving sideways, holding the higher lows on the higher time frame. Still love Robinhood long term. Again, 2025, 2026 contracts. Those are my favorite. Can't do anything else about those. Target. So Target's been a little bit of a heartbreaker here. I'm not going to lie. I love Target. We had a really good push, made some money into 181. I've had to hit the brakes a little bit now. I still have my 2025 position. I'm not doing it. I want to buy more, to be honest. But I'm practicing some self-control until we get back above the 200 SMA at 175. I still love Target. I still think it's a strong name. I think their earnings are going to continue to smash, beat, destroy. I'm happy with Target. But again, you got to get above 181 to get the breakout. As soon as you break and hold 181, you're pushing into 200. My personal opinion. And keep that really simple. Make sure you understand that. Going into anything else, Netflix, again, you're trying to hold, you try to break back up, you just couldn't do it. Above 625, you're really bullish, but you're kind of just if the stock market isn't helping you, it's hard to trade the upside. It's very difficult to trade in a specific direction if you're not moving. And again, when we look at Qs and SPY, you aren't moving. You traded all day in a flat line since Friday. So again, not much happening here. You do have CPI and PPI data this week, I do believe, but still, nevertheless, not too much going on. There's no reason to overcomplicate some of these things when you're getting this movement. And I always tell people, when you're getting this type of movement, just get up, walk away, go do something else. Like, stop trading. Like, trading is just gonna hurt you in the long run. So sometimes we gotta keep things simple instead of overcomplicating them and looking for a million different trades. Last name is gonna be Microsoft, and again, I'm very bullish on Microsoft, but you got to get above 427.8. Above that level, you are very, very bullish. I'm going to keep it very simple. One of my top names, but you got to get above 427.8. I have my Twitter link. It's in the bio. Make sure you subscribe. I have a lot of charts posted over there. I try to keep you guys updated. I do voice updates as well. But again, all that content's free. Have a good one, traders. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.